All right, what up guys? So it's officially time to start getting into what is exactly the extent to the damage on the car. It's your boy Frank. We're gonna try to see how much we could do with the time that we have. Maybe we could really get into all of it, but I doubt it. It looks promising, but we won't really know until we really dive in and get in here, because car runs and drives. So far, I have no leaks. I believe these are AC condenser and radiator in front. There's been no leaks. No warning lights for anything with overheating or anything like that. Let's try to give you guys a close-up of what I got going on here. So this is what we have. So looking at it, I want to say the impact, it's not a front end impact. It's something here, something like it got sideswiped, or maybe the car was coming out, or car was coming, and it was just because the damage stops like right around here, right? The bumper, I mean the hood, right around here. The dent kind of starts. You could kind of see the scratches here on this side. So it looks like maybe the car was coming out of a driveway and the car didn't see it. Took a little bit of the front end off, because even this fender, it doesn't seem, if you look at it on this side, it's very well lined up. So obviously we can see in here some of the damage from the swipe. It looks, like I said, some of these points here, this looks like it's an aluminum bracket for the support, so that just came apart. So let's start taking some of this tape off and unplugging some of this, and kind of getting it to where we could get more of a view. The hood, getting the hood off, it's gonna be tricky, but let's hope not. See this side. On this side, actually, maybe the fender did move on this side. Yeah, I think the fender moved on this side maybe, because I see it popping out a little bit, at least with the tire side. But all right, let's put this on maybe time lapse, so obviously we don't bore you with the boring stuff. All right, guys, so here's where we are now. It's looking like we're getting somewhere. So as you can see, this bar is pretty, it's pretty lined up. It ain't too out of place. Here's, you can see the cooling fan. And then here's where you could really see how it came in. But from the top, it doesn't look too bad. And like I said, it is not leaking coolant. There's no leaks. There's no overheating. See right here, we could tell how there's a shift. But even if you look at this, let me get some light in here. So even as we look at the chassis, it's pretty straightforward. And then the part that connects, which is the front end support bar, that's what you can see right here, how it bends. But from here, it looks pretty straight, actually. Yeah, because there's a chassis here connected to it, so it's, let's look on this side. Yeah, yeah, actually, it might be pretty straight. This is good news. Obviously, we won't be able to know until we get a lot of this off, but this is looking like it's just what I was hoping. It's just this front support bar that collapsed, because this is aluminum. Wow. So far, it's looking pretty good. See, we could look at this. Let me put this light down. It's hard to get light in. So this is the chassis, and then you could tell right here where it just crumbled up. Right, where we at? Right there, just crumbled up. But even this piece is straight. I think what helped it a lot is it has a support in the middle. It has a straight bar that goes welded. This bar here, that might have actually helped a lot, honestly. Wow. It's what I was expecting, because I already had done some research on the setup that it currently has for the front end, and I had seen how the pieces go attached to the chassis and they come out to the support. So it has a, a lot of, regular car has all the way from the back. And yeah, you could replace those, but you got to take everything apart. But to have it like this in the front and have it, able to pull out a couple bolts, pop it out, put a new one in, it's I'm a little more excited right now, because this is, when you get a car, this is the worrisome part, right? How in depth is the damage? How much extent does it go beyond what the eye can see? On Copart, you see how it came, right? Same pictures. They really don't give you a close up. Wow. This is really good news. This was, this was what had me thinking, but I wasn't 100% sure. Now seeing that, and it was what I was expecting for sure, 100%, but there was no guarantee. Now the question is, I already know where this part is located. I already got a price on this part, so I got to figure out when I could go swing by and pick this part up. The next challenge is these headlights. These headlights are expensive. I was hoping they were not the laser, just because we'll get into the lights later on, but it's not super ridiculous. Yeah, I was, see, because there's certain things that you could do, right? There's certain things that we could tackle. When it came down to those frame tips coming from the back and being bent, that has to go to a frame shop. And even here, depending on how it lines up, once I bring it, it might still need just to get some tweaks in, because I was thinking it was going to be what it currently is, because I have already looked for these front end parts and kind of looked around, but you can see how there's still a shift even with this one. So that's why this fender's still a little bit out that way, because this is connected. Let's see. So you can tell how the bracket here for this hood broke off. I mean, for the clamp snapped off and it's spun that way, but it ties down with this, so everything just shifted. But the main chassis is, it looks to be in a good position. So now it would just have to be how much would it shift back afterwards. So is there, how much tension is being pushed that way? So once I pull this apart, will we get less tension and have more movement to where we don't need a full, straining of the body chassis part. Even this plate, it doesn't look too bad. It has a little bent here, but we're gonna try to replace as much as we can, as much as we can find, without having to spend thousands of dollars. So on simple parts that we could try to find. This here looks, the fan works. I've heard it turn on. The next step, which I don't want to touch, just because I just don't want to get into the whole radiator vacuum system, redoing it. I don't want to get into that. If I have to not do it, I will prefer to keep all the hoses intact. If nothing is broken, I will try to work around it. If we have to do it, I will have to find a good shop that has dealt with not only this car, but works with BMWs and kind of do it properly. Just because I've heard, research that if you don't have to mess with the system, don't mess with the system. But once you do, you got to properly get it done. If not, you're gonna start dealing with overheating issues and stuff like that, because it doesn't get done properly. The coolant doesn't fully flow into the top of the engine. So on top, there's no coolant, so it starts overheating. You start getting, so that's tricky part. But definitely for sure, we're gonna try to get this right for sure. And if we have to, then we have to. So let me see how much more I could get into here without having to spend too late, because obviously we're running out of light. We're looking good. So I'll probably pick this back down, start another time lapse, so I don't bore you with the boring stuff, but it's looking good for sure. All right, guys, we're back. So you can see on the time lapse, we got some of this down already. So here's where we're at right now. So I did discover that this plate here, let me back it up. This plate here needs to get fixed. So the little seam of the welding here ripped out from the bottom. So I don't know exactly, I gotta look how this piece is set up. I see some bolts down here, but I don't think it has something to do with it. So I do see maybe it's a little bit this way. I think Um, it's hard to tell exactly, but I can see a little bit on the side of it. But so far, here's the pile. Here's what we got right now. It's getting there. Seeing a lot of this already off, you kind of start seeing a little bit better of what I actually need and what I might be okay. But I do see the bottom of that chassis bracket. It got unweld on the bottom. I'm gonna have to go in to a shop. I got a shop in mind, just so he could give me a better evaluation and kind of have it set in his machine and kind of see where I might be small. It's small, but just that part of the weld that I see on there that's gonna need some attention to it. Overall, some of these brackets, these black brackets right here, these right here, I think I need both on both sides, which is the fenders to the chassis brackets. So I need 2 of those, both of the hood brackets. This piece here, pretty much the radiator shroud. And then kind of, I think this bucket needs a new one. So far, that's about it, guys. It's getting late over here, so I'm getting ready to start wrapping it up, clean up a little bit, and start putting all this stuff away. But that's the hood right here. So that they couldn't pop it open to give it charge, so they did all that bending on it on top. But this is it's going. It looks decent. I gotta look into this fender. As you can see, this fender's popping out of the wheel right here, and I do notice up top this latch is bent. I don't know if this latch is bent because of this. I want to say it's bent more because of Copart. Copart was trying so hard to break this thing open. As you can see on that hood, so right here you could tell that they jammed something in here to try to break it open, because they couldn't get this thing open. So I want to say this is a Copart situation, so I might have to get a new latch, because that's the only thing that I can see that's wrong here, is just this latch is out of place compared to that latch. If it's something that, yeah, see, you could tell right here where it's all bent out. So yeah, they bent this out of shape, because, you know, I was worried a little bit. If I hadn't looked at the glass on this side, I was like, last thing I need is some glass damage, but it looks to be okay. The glass is fine. This is expensive glass, so that would have been a bad situation to have a cracked corner. I hadn't looked, but yeah, guys, this is looking good. That little chassis bracket, I gotta talk to somebody, but now I could really start, you know, eyeing for the pieces that I need, really trying to piece everything together. I'm gonna strap this up so it's not so much hanging. I think it's pretty good on there, but just to give it a little bit extra support. But yeah, that's it. Like I said, now I can really start dialing in on the pieces that I need and what I gotta start sorting out, pricing and all that. It's not bad. We got pretty much a lot of it off in the couple of hours that I was here. So yeah, guys, we'll pick this back up either maybe tomorrow or another day, and kind of go from there. But like, subscribe, watch this video, get me to some views, you know. And thank you for watching, man. Deuces.